Hey BookTube, I have a tag for you again today. This is the book buying tag, I believe. Yes, book buying tag. I first saw this on Bill Rutenberg's channel. Um, if you haven't subscribed to his channel, go check it out. It's pretty fantastic. He talks a lot about history books. He's a history teacher. I'll try to remember to link his channel below. But yeah, you should go check him out and subscribe to him. He does a lot of cool videos talking about various history books, both fiction and nonfiction. Anyway, so let's get on with the book buying tag. Question number 1 asks, where do you buy your books from? I buy my books from a lot of different places. Up until January of this year, between January of this year and then going back to 2016, I was buying them from our local bookstore, Ellen Plum's City Bookstore. However, unfortunately, our local bookstore had to close in January due to financial reasons, which makes me incredibly sad. Like, along with the stupid coronavirus shit, this has been, the local bookstore closing was also another really big downer of 2020 so far. So yeah, up until January of this year, I bought most of my books from our local bookstore. Now that that's closed, I'm back to buying books online. Although with everything going on with the coronavirus, I haven't bought as many books online. Although I do have some coming today because I had some new releases and stuff. But yeah, from 2016 to 2020, of January of 2020, I bought them at Ellen Plum's. I'm also known to buy books when I go to other towns. I love half-price books. Yes. I used to work there actually when I was fresh out of grad school. I worked at Half Price Books for a while, and I love that store. I also like used bookstores. There are a couple of used bookstores in towns that I go to occasionally that I like to shop at. And occasionally I'll find books at other places. We have an antique mall here in town, and I discovered the last time I was there before coronavirus that they actually have some really fascinating books there. A lot of history books and old books. So that was really cool. And I bought quite a few and brought them home. So yeah, I really wish I could still support our local bookstore. I wish it hadn't have closed. But it is what it is. And like I said, right now, what books I am buying online due to current world events. Question number 2. Do you ever pre-order books? And if so, do you do this in store or online? Well, again, when Ellen Plum's was open, I pre-ordered my books from that store. But now that that store is closed, I pre-order online. I mostly pre-order new releases that I'm really excited about. There are certain books and authors that I will pretty much automatically pre-order as long as I know I have the money. But I don't pre-order everything, of course. Even though I do pre-order a fair bit, especially if it's from an author that I really love. Like, for instance, Martha Wells, who wrote the Murderbot books. Her novel, Network Effect, the Murderbot novel, came out yesterday, and I pre-ordered that. It's supposed to be here today, hopefully. So yeah, books like that I'll pre-order, and when I do, I'll pre-order them online now since our bookstore closed. Question 3. On average, how many books do you buy a month? Again, when we had Ellen Plum's, I bought a lot of books a month. I pretty much doubled my book collection, I think, when we had our local bookstore here. I could single-handedly keep our bookstore in business, if only I made enough money to do that. Currently, though, I haven't been buying as many because of what's been going on and the fact we don't have a bookstore. So I don't know an average. It really depends. I mean, when we had a bookstore, I was probably buying upwards of 10 a month, but now it's dwindled a lot. I think here recently is the most I've bought, and that's like 4. So Yeah, it just depends on the situation and like what's going on. If there's a month where there's a library book sale, then it's like astronomical. um, Question 4. Do you use your local library? Yes. I actually have access to two libraries. I have access to our public library, and then I work for a university, so I have access to that library as well. And so I use both of those. I love our public library and I miss it. I'm so ready for it to reopen. I hate coronavirus. It needs to die. Okay? Like, just get out because I miss the library. Even though I have tons of my own books, I miss the library. Um, anyway, and then I also have two online libraries that I use. One is the state library, and then the other is the Sunflower Library through the public library. So yes, I have like four libraries that I have access to, um, which is fantastic. And yeah, I love libraries. I think they're amazing. Can't say enough good about them. Please do use your local library. They have a lot of resources. 5. If so, how many books do you borrow at a time from your library? It depends. I am known to reserve a lot of books from my library once I see that they're going to be coming in. Um, but I don't always read all of them, but I do tend to reserve a lot. And sometimes they all seem to come in at once, my reserves. And so then I have, like an entire bag full of books. And then pre coronavirus, I had checked out from our library, I think like 5 books that I still have because it closed. Um, and so I'm kind of stuck with those 5 for the moment. There is a limit to how many we can check out. I don't know what that is. Surprisingly, I have never hit that limit, even though there was one time where a bunch of my reserves came in at once and I had, I think, like a bag and a half of books. I probably had like 8 or 10. So I'm not sure what the limit is. But yeah, I check out a lot, usually more than I can feasibly read in the amount of time that we have. But, you know, options. It's a good thing. Number 6. What is your opinion on library books? Library books are perfectly fine. I don't know why you wouldn't enjoy them. I mean, unless someone returns one that they spilled stuff on or something, then it can be kind of dicey. But no, I don't have a problem with library books. Libraries are awesome, like I said before. And not only for the books, but for the other resources that they offer. They have DVDs, they have, our library even has music, CDs. They have, the online libraries that you can use. They offer classes and activities for kids and adults. They have book clubs. I mean, just the whole gamut of stuff that they offer. Computers and internet for people who may not be able to have access to that. Yeah, it's just support your libraries, is all I'm saying. Check them out. Um, how do you feel about charity shops slash secondhand books? Love getting used books or secondhand books, especially from used bookstores. Um, Other than the antique mall, none of our like charity shops or like Goodwill here. Their selection of books is just terrible. It's a lot of like bodice rippers, as the owner of Ellen Plums used to say, and books that I'm just not interested in at all. And so I rarely ever buy books at like Goodwill or anything because the selection is just terrible at our Goodwill. But used bookstores, I love buying secondhand books from those. It's awesome and they're cheap, and yeah, I don't have a problem as long as they're not in like absolutely horrible condition. Number 8. Do you keep your red and TBR pile together slash on the same bookshelf or not? Yes, I have my red books and my not red books together throughout the bookcases. I don't have a separate shelf. I don't have the space for that. I don't have enough space for my books the way it is. Um, so yeah, no, they're all mingled together. Um, and I can look at my shelves and tell you which books I have and haven't read. A lot of the ones here where they're double stacked, like the ones that are in the front stacks are ones I haven't read yet, and then a lot of the ones behind that are ones I have read, even though like that wasn't the intention because they're sort of alphabetized, especially the ones that are in the back rows. But it just ended up being that a lot of these are ones I haven't read because they're ones I got more recently and was trying to like put onto the shelves when I was going through and getting rid of books. So yeah, my to be read books and my read books are commingled in all of my bookcases. Question 9. Do you plan to read all of the books that you own? Yes. Yes. Except for I have a section over here on the floor of sacks that I want to donate. And those books are some that I have, excuse me, that I have read and want to get rid of. And then there are some there that I haven't ever read and don't want to read because I bought them when I had different reading tastes or whatever. But no, every other book that I have here, I do plan to read at some point. Even though who knows when that will happen, but I'm gonna make a valiant attempt. Question 10. What do you do with books that you own that you feel you will never read slash felt you did not enjoy? I typically donate them to our friends at the library for the library book sales. Occasionally I'll take them to like a thrift store or something. But I usually do take them to friends of the library because I feel like if I take them there, they're gonna go to someone who actually really wants to read them and is interested in them. And so, yeah, I always donate to friends of the library. Unless it's a situation where they're like not taking donations and I just want to get rid of them, then I'll take them to Goodwill. But that's rare. I prefer friends of the library. And when I worked for Half Price Books, I would take books there too. Number 11. Have you ever donated books? Yes, I have donated a lot of books. 12. Have you ever been on a book buying ban? Yes. I'm kind of on one now. I mean, not really, but because of everything that's going on, I haven't bought that many. I've been on book buying bans in the past, so yeah. And then, do you feel that you buy too many books? Is the last question. And yeah, I probably do buy too many books, although it's definitely slowed down a lot given we no longer have a local bookstore, and I have to resort to buying everything online. But yeah, I definitely buy too many. And once the library is open again and has their book sale, there will be more, because I am glutton. But, like I tell my parents, it could be drugs. So, yeah, oh well. That is the last question for this particular book buying tag. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks, BookTube.